Hi guys, hello my fellow horror fans. Welcome back to Hermione's Horror Reviews, where, well, we do horror reviews. Okay, so this is my first review of a book for this channel, and I know I said that you guys were going to get like total for this week 4 videos. Well, I'm jumping it up to 5 because I did finish the book and I'm very eager to return it back to the library. This book was something else. This book was absolutely terrifying. This man is just as good in writing horror as Stephen King. And yeah. So, last week I did a video about twisting pleasant places, or twisting, places that have good memories to them. This one does it, and this is where I got the inspiration for that particular video. So, what is the book called? Horrorstor. This is, I can't read the thing because I have it. Hold on a second. A novel by Grady Hendrix. Okay. Let's get this back down. Alright. So, what people look, when people see this particular cover, they think of, well, minus the hands and the face, oh, homely and sweet and all that stuff. This book is not sweet, it is not homely, it is terrifying. So, you got, the main character's name is Amy. And this is going to be a pretty long video, so please bear with me. So anyways, a woman called Amy, she is a worker at Orsic. I hope I'm not butchering the name. It's like a European brand. It's like a box store, like Walmart and Best Buy and all those other places that are designed to suck you in to get you to buy. And that is basically what they do. At the beginning of each of the chapters is a brand, is a product that the author wanted to highlight about, like, a couch and a table and a couple chairs and your soul, essentially. So, what is interesting about this book is Amy is on the verge of being fired. Or to the back, she believes she's on the verge of being fired. Let's be clear on that one. So, Basil's her boss. Basil has had to work his ass off to become a manager. He also has another reason. He's got a little baby sister that he's raising, which I like that. I thought that was really interesting. The author at first gives you the impression that Basil is an asshole. He wants you to not like this character. Grady does not want you to like this character at all. But then he hits you in the feels with the fact that he's raising his baby sister. So he's like the father figure to her. And so that's why he wants to find out who is causing damage to the stuff. So what does he do? He hijacks 3 employees. Yes, that's just being a responsible manager. Let's just hijack 3 employees. Just butter them up with money, and they will freaking do anything. And literally, they do anything to ensure they get the money. So what ends up happening in this book? Basil gets Amy, I believe it's Trinity, and Ruth. I believe her name is Ruth Ann. 3 saps to go and stay with him the entire night, trying to find out who's damaging the stuff. So what those 3 little nincompoops do? Hey, this sounds fun. Oh, we'll just find out who's doing it and be on our way. So they have to start as soon as the clean crew ends and survive the entire night until the morning crew shows up. Well, they get a lot more than they bargained for. So we got this guy called Matt, who's an employee, and he thinks that the store is haunted. And we find out that the store land, the land that the store is built on, used to be a place where they did some freaky, weird things to people in the late 1800s. Like, I'm talking about, like, torture. Like, it's not a pretty thing. It's like, you know how you hear stories like prisons being haunted because some really freaky, weird stuff goes on in those places? Well, I ain't gonna mention anybody right now, but yeah, he gonna discover that himself. But anyways, these people were literally made insane. Oh, you got this disease, you got this deviancy, let me go and freaking constrict your blood flow to your brain, because you don't need that, you know. I don't know why you got blood in your body. Literally, the prisoners were tortured almost to death. And finally, it gets shut down. And because the authorities have evidence that the warden likes his job a little too much, if you know what I mean. So he gets his ass fired, and the place gets shut down, gets torn down, and nobody tells nobody about the history of the land before this big box store was built. Joy. And so what happens is Amy and her two little friends are basically walking around trying to catch whoever's doing it, and that's when they meet Matt, who they already met because he works for them. He's our co-worker. And of course Carl, who is homeless. And of course Basil's fine with the guy, you know, he's just a homeless dude, you know. And unfortunately for Carl, he kind of doesn't survive, which is so sad. Well, at least he won't. I'm being mean about this. At least he won't be homeless anymore. And literally each chapter, just for the first 10 chapters, has a furniture on it. The chairs and the couch and the tables. And then then when you get to chapter 11, that's when they stop showing furniture and they start showing torture devices. Not kidding. So, from chapter 11 onwards to the end of the book, you literally have every conceivable thing happen in this store. You got rats chewing. You got hands. They're like scratchy and ripping hair out. You got Amy that gets introduced to the chair that constricts blood flow to your brain. And a lot of other nasty stuff. And she's trying to get out of this store. And what she is finding is that she has ended up at what the land used to be. Now talking about that prison where all the people went bonkers. And the warden is there. He has not rested. He wants to continue to torture people. He's dead. He's dead. I mean, he's been dead for a long time. But he's still there. And it's creepy as shit. And literally, Amy manages to escape. What does she do? She gets to the end of the parking lot, decides to turn around and go back inside to save people that don't give two shits about her. Except Basil. He cares. Yeah, he cares. And the only person that she's able to rescue is Basil. And here's the thing. Here is the thing that terrifies a lot of people. Is when they're at a place, they know the address, but the police can't find it. Literally. No one can find this store. It's like the store is not there anymore. It's this prison. And then, lo and behold, there's a big flood of water. And it gets so high and so... It just puts too much pressure on the glass windows. And that is how Amy and Basil are able to escape. No one finds the bodies of Trinity, Matt, Anne Ruth. Carl, of course, is never found. They are, as far as I know of, they are going to forever be stuck in that prison. They will never, ever get out. Ever. How vividly the author describes this place of hell and torment and prisoners that will never, ever, ever see their families again is so detailed and so just... It's hold on. It's definitely not for, I mean, I'm not going to say not for the faint of heart. I mean, the book was really good. I mean, I really, really did like this book. This was my first horror read that I enjoyed this. This took me quite some time to read because I was kind of like busy with like working and stuff, but I would sit there and I would read like, oh wow, you know. But for people that don't want the ending of it, I will not tell you how the story ends. But I will say one word about the end of the story. Determination. And also Amy finally decides to go for something other than, well, quitting. So, Horrorstor by Grady. This is the ultimate example of twisting a place that's supposed to have exciting memories and wonderful time with your family into something horrific, something terrifying, and something that you will never look at another big box store again without thinking, was there something on this land before? And this also kind of delves into a lot of beliefs in what we see on camera. Like, there's a lot of video that comes out about, you know, seeing things move around. Like, I remember watching this video. Took place in like early 2000s, and it was a Blockbuster. Yeah, I know. You guys don't know what Blockbuster is. Blockbuster. And literally there was a VHS that landed on the floor. It also tells you that you can make a horror book out of anything and it will work, because everything can be made into a horror story. So anyways, I'm going to give this book a solid 5 stars. It was terrifying. It was scary. He wrote the warden so well that I'm like, oh, please, please, please get out of there. I was like, when is Amy going to get out of there? This was how involved I was in this book. And I will definitely be posting the same identical review on the Book Corner because I did finish a book. But yeah, so my first horror book that I've ever read in a long time that wasn't a collection of short stories, I absolutely did enjoy. So, yeah. So goodbye, my horror fans, and I will see you guys next time.